The key is to join a startup at the right moment and join the right startup that also where that startup is in a great growth phase or the right moment in its own history. So it's funny because it sounds like we're talking about careers, but we're talking about wealth building.
So talk about the best way to build equity, to get on boards, to get in a position where you're positioning yourself to actually succeed in a big way.
Yep. And that's what I call the money flywheel. And if you look at people in Silicon Valley, a lot of the most successful people you see are people that are executing their own money flywheel. And this is being part of either as an LP or a GP, limited partner or general partner, being part of a venture fund or a private equity fund. And I think it's going to be more common in the future to have private equity part of this. But right now, be part of a venture fund as kind of a part-time GP / LP. Be in a startup, so working in a startup in the C-suite where you have P&L, profit and loss responsibility, so you can show that you grew that startup, and then be on boards of directors. And so once you're doing that, you're talking with the most powerful people that know where all the greatest next opportunities are while you're on the boards. You also get equity on these boards, and some people can get paid 10 million in equity to join a board. So, there's really big opportunities there. And then you can make millions in the equity that you get paid for growing the startup that you're in. And then you also get carry. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. You also get paid carry, which is a percentage of the profits or percentage of the returns in a venture fund. The key, though, is so that's your money flywheel that you want to get in the center of. And so the key is to join a startup at the right moment and join the right startup that also where that startup is in a great growth phase or the right moment in its own history. So it's funny because it sounds like we're talking about careers, but we're talking about wealth building. And we're talking about, money and wealth and your most important investment, which is your career. And yet a lot of people, when they hear of a new opportunity or somebody said, they just think about how much more they're going to make that year, or, they don't spend the time to really analyze the industry, the company, the same way they would if they were making an individual stock investment. And yet it's the biggest investment of their life because it's time they'll never get back.
Yeah, it sounds like what you're talking about here is building equity cash flow or equity opportunities versus just cash flow, right? I think like Robert Kiyosaki talks about the cash flow quadrant, right? And you're either going to be an employee, you're going to be self-employed, you're going to be an investor or a business owner, right? And it's just focusing like a laser, how to become a business owner, how do you have equity share, how is the money flywheel connected to being in the C-suite, being part of GP, LP interest, being responsible for the profit and loss, right? Making the big decisions. Anything else to add there before we move on to the next phase, which is breakout?
So one of my smarter coaching clients said to me, as soon as you have a liquidity event and make a bunch of money, make a couple $1 million, you wish you had cash flow. But when you have cash flow, you're wishing you had a liquidity event. And so one of the beauties of this flywheel is that the money flywheel allows you to have a lot of bets on the table at once. So you're not starving at a startup and wishing that you had some cash flow. Maybe you have some cash flow or an exit from one of your board opportunities, or maybe you have some cash flow from your part-time work at either as an LP or a GP. So it's both. It's setting you up with multiple bets, and it's also setting you up with some kind of balance between cash flow and big exits.